Yes. Good morning. Good morning, good people. I love that the conversation is starting with us having some good loves. But let me not be rude. Let me start this off right. Hey, gorgeous, and welcome to my channel. I'm Kapana Shimange, and this is How I Do Things, the show where you send me your questions and I let you know how I would do things. And I can take it as entertainment or use it as advice. Take it, don't take it, use it. Don't use it at all. Listen, seriously, on a very serious note, I am not a professional. I am no pro, me, like, moi, not a professional at all. I'm just letting you know what I would do if I was in your shoes. I'm wearing my glasses so I can actually see the conversation that's happening today. It's a chat Tuesday. I'm expecting to see Lab K. I'm expecting to see Khala. I see Koki's here. Busisi was here as well. Who else is joining us this morning? MJ, hey girl. We also have Linda, Nicole, Lidile, Zina, Dorothy's here, Edna. Edna, good morning. How many times have you joined us? I think I can tell when somebody's kind of newish. Good morning, darling. Good morning. Let me know where you're joining us from, which country you're in, what time it is, and what you're looking forward to today on this Chalete Tuesday. We have Bastsana. You know how much I love that name, Bastsana. You have the most beautiful name ever. Noluti is also here with us as well. Glory, Poppy, Gitumezi, Asanda, Lucy, Xoliswa is also here with us. Ongeziwe is also here with us. Let's see. Seja, Jacqueline. Jacqueline is also near. I love so much. Missy. Good to see so many of you returning to the morning party. Good morning, good people. Listen, let's get into this. We've been talking about standards this week, okay? And the conversation has been getting deep. People are basically torching my Instagram at the moment talking about standards. That's how it is, all right? And one of the things about standards that we said was that your life is a reflection of your standards. Your life as it is right now is a reflection of your standards. And it's very hurtful to think that if I'm in a trash relationship, then my standards for a relationship are trash. If I'm unhappy at the workplace, then the standard that I have for my work life is unhappiness. And to realize that is a very difficult pill to swallow. And I think as well, when I look at my finances, I'm just like, whatever standard I have for my finance, whatever my finances are right now, that is the standard that I've set for myself in my life. It's very painful. Then comes a conversation of there's so many people who've lost their jobs during the pandemic. There's so many people who've been retrenched. There's so many people who are in financial situations that they didn't really choose. Is that now the standard that I've set for myself in my life? To accept that the answer is yes is very, very painful. But here's the thing. If we accept it and we don't challenge the situations that we're in life, then we accept whatever situation we have as the standard we have set for ourselves in our life. Because we're doing nothing to get better, because we're doing nothing to challenge it, because we're doing nothing to change it, then we're accepting it, and we're accepting it as a standard in our lives. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot to accept, and it's very painful. But I don't think it's far from the truth. Today, I wanted to tell you a story about the time I got retrenched and how I refused to set that as a standard for my life. It's very, very painful being retrenched. It is. Because it feels like you're being rejected. It's not like being fired. You know when you're fired, you kind of know why you're being fired. Like, you talk too much. You're a comrade in the streets. You are a trouble starter. You don't get your work done. We're firing you because of ABC. But retrenchment? Retrenchment is just a letter saying, here, they stay, you go. It is painful. I don't know. For me, it felt like I was getting rejected, you know? I was 22 at the time. And to give you context, I had just moved back from Johannesburg and I moved home with my tail in between my legs. I was going through quite bad depression to a point where I'd wake up, I wouldn't go to work. Very low paying job, by the way. Like that job, basically from the money I was getting from that job, all I could pay for was petrol and and food for the day when I was at the job. After paying for those two things, I think I had like $50 basically left over. It was terrible. And I'd wake up in the morning, I'd grab a blanket, and I'd sit outside under the tree in the shade. And I'd do this all day, and I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't have a book. I wouldn't read a book. I'd do nothing. Literally, this is all I did for days. I think for the whole month of February, this is all I did. And I had two jobs. One of them was a non-paying job. It was a free job that I was doing at a radio station. And the other job, I was getting paid peanuts. And I'd do this all day. And if the shade moved, I'd just pull the blanket and just make sure that the shade was always over my face at the very least. Okay, at some point, I worked like 2 days at that job and they sent me my money. I think it was like 500 Rand or less. It could have been like 200 and something Rand. I can't remember how much it is, but it was very little money. I took the money, I put the money in my car, and I drove back home with my tail in between my toes, my legs, and I was just like, Mom, Joburg's not working. And I stayed home. I switched off my phone. I didn't connect with anybody back in Johannesburg. Basically, I fell off the face of the earth. I needed to gather myself. After a couple of months, I made some job applications and I got a job at a radio station, and it was very good. It was a good job. And it was going well. After a couple of months of doing that job, I started a dance, workout, and modeling studio in Rustenburg as a business, my first brick and mortar business. And that was starting to go well. The first week I had 12 students. The next week I had 52 students. Like literally, I had tripled my business in 1 week. And then things started to go wrong. The location of my business I kept on running into these problems. So I went from one location which was doing very well when my business was growing, and then they told me, no, you can't be there anymore. For what reason? I don't know. I moved to my second location, and I went from 50-something students, almost 60 students, back down to 12 students. Then something went wrong with that studio as well, and I had to move location again. And when I moved location again, I went from 12 students to 4 students. And I just had to call it quits because I was just like, this isn't going to work. And then I got retrenched. I felt rejected. I was like, why do those people get to stay and I don't? I was starting to get the feel of my job, and I felt as though if I had just been given until the end of the year, then I'd be able to prove myself. Then I would be able to work up the ladder. Then I'd be able to get my own slot. But then I got retrenched, And I remember I went back home, sitting on my single bed, and in the corner, it was pushed right against the corner, and the window was it was the other way around. It was on my left. And I was sitting, and I had my legs on the bed like this. And I just started crying. My mom opened the door. She's like, you're crying over that job. And I was. And then she came back with a bowl of ice cream. And I was crying because I felt rejected. But also I was just like, Lord, why aren't you making anything work? Why? Because honestly, Lord, I'm trying here. Why aren't you blessing my work? I didn't understand. I was just like, I don't get it, Lord. I'm being faithful. I'm trying. I was doing my best at my job. My studio was to help teenagers get confidence, and they were coming along and they were starting to win pageants and things, and I was just like, I don't get it, God. I don't get it. What are you doing? Looking back at it now, somehow I feel like that was the beginning of my journey. That was the beginning of my exodus. Because God was pushing me out of Rustenburg. He was just like, I need you to go. What I wanted you here for, you've done it. You need to go back to Joburg. And long story short, things started to get back together. God led me to an opportunity where there was a cash influx. Because at the time, I couldn't afford to be retrenched. My family couldn't afford to be retrenched. We kind of all were in a bad financial situation. And I wasn't studying that year because I couldn't afford to study. That's why I went back home. That's why I got a job and all of those things. I was 22 years old and I was still studying. I was taking the long route to finish my finance degree. So yeah, here I am, jobless, no cash to go to school. And then God leads me to this opportunity where there was a financial influx. And this financial influx helped my family. And this financial influx helped me. And at the end of it all in terms of the money. There was enough money for me to move back to Joburg with my sister, who was working at the time, and enough money for me to pay for 1 semester of school. And honestly, that's all I needed. I went back to Joburg. I got back into school full time. Before the end of the year, I got a bursary to study for that year so that money could be used for something else. It was needed at home. And then before the end of the year, I got a job offer. I got 2 job offers. And the job I wanted was going to pay me peanuts. But the job I didn't want paid me more. It was in finance. It was in equity. It was in private equity. So I went back to the guys who wanted to hire me in advertising. And I was just like, this is how much the finance guys are going to pay me. I can't accept your job because you're going to pay me peanuts. And then they set a competitive rate. They were just like, okay, we'll pay you equal to what you were going to get paid at that other place. Just so you can come work with us. Boom, baby. Things started to turn around. This is not to say that I did not meet any other obstacles along the way, because I did. And I still had a very big financial blow between then and now. It's been 8 years since then. 8 years going on 9 years since that time. And there were ups and downs. And we'll go through that financially. So what happened? What do you do when you are retrenched? What do you do when the situation you're in, you're broke, you're either working or you're not working, but it's less than desirable? How do you change that situation? How do you then say, I'm broke, therefore that is the standard of my life? How do you say, no, this is not my life? Because that's what I used to say to myself all the time at the age of 22, snapping my hands. I shaved my hair. I remember that. I used to like wigs and weaves, but I didn't have money for that at the time, so I just shaved all my hair. I went bald. And I was just like, this is not my life. This is not my life. It's not. And I worked to make sure that this is not my life, because the standard I wanted for my life was here, but currently my life was here. And I was like, I shall not accept this. This is not my life. I refuse. There was another line I used to say. I think I used to say something along the lines of, this is not the life that God wanted for me, or something along that line. I don't know. Something along that line. All right. So in the chat, Koki saying, for some seasons just don't make sense at the time, but later you are thankful afterwards for those seasons as they prepared you for a higher standard. Very true. Very, very true. Look, long story short, things worked out. Everyone's in a better place. And that doesn't mean that you won't continue to find difficult financial situations, but you can reset your financial situation. And today I'm going to give you 5 steps to reset your financial situation. No matter if you're broke, no matter if you're unemployed, no matter what has happened to you, if you're in a less than desirable financial situation, here are the 5 steps to change that for you. All right? Guys, I don't mean to make you sad. Funny is I'm begging my boss to retrench rather than when month end comes, I'm all stressed out. Things will work out, Lorato. I'm sorry that you have to go through the situation. I'm currently going through the same thing. I'm currently not going to school because of fees. I got defunded by the government and I am broke. It will work out, Jessica. You have no clue what God is doing, but He's doing something. That you can just know. Diana saying, my favorite saying is Jesus didn't die on the cross for me to go down this. Yes, Jesus didn't die on the cross for me to go down this way. No. Things are not going like this. No, this is not my portion. That's what I used to say. This is not my portion in life. That's what I used to say to myself. So here's the 5 things that you should do if you're in a less than desirable financial situation and you want to switch things around because you know your standards in life are so much higher. You know that this is not my portion in life. This is not what is meant for me. This is not what God intended for my life. He intended better, and there's a situation and there's a lesson in the season, and I'm going to learn it. So number 1, you have to make a decision that from today, I'm not going to worry. Worry is not my portion in life. No, it's not my portion in life. Not at all. You have to realize that God is doing something. God is always at work. He is. Even if you're in a situation where you're just like, I don't know what I'm going to eat today. I don't know how I'm going to get the petrol to go to that meeting today. I don't know. You know what? I'm leaving this house. I have 0 kilometers left in my car. I am still starting this thing. I've been to many meetings on a prayer with 0 petrol. Yet God provided somehow. Provided food, provided drinks, provided, the faith gas. Faith gas in my car got me there. You have to decide from today. Take a journal, take a piece I believe in journals, guys. That's why I have a journal of my own, her daily success journal, okay? Take a journal and write down that from today, I'm making a decision not to worry. In Matthew 6:11, in the Lord's Prayer, it says, "Give us today our daily bread." And when you read Exodus, in Exodus 16, where it speaks about manna, that God was sending manna from heaven, what the people did was that they would be scared, so they would collect more manna than what God had apportioned for them on that day. And God would make it rot. And because he said that I will provide for you every single day. Take what you need only for today. So believe that today I'm hundreds. If God woke me up, then I'm going to go to sleep hundreds, okay? You might go to sleep hungry, but you won't die because God's still got a plan for you, girl. I remember my uncle coming to me one day and saying, "You are so brave." And I was like, I don't know if I'm stupid or if I just have a lot of faith. Because you can't worry about what's going to happen. God's got you. He's got you. It doesn't matter the financials. It's fine. You will be fine. Make a decision today. Worry is not my portion. None of that. I will always have joy. Number 2 is that you need to shepherd over the blessings that you already have. At the time when I was retrenched, yes, I lost the job. Yes, I really wanted that job. I wanted to work my way up. But that is not what God wanted for me. He's just like, you think that job is great, but I've got something better for you. I'm taking it away. And he took it away. And I looked, okay. Then you have to sit down and you're just like, okay, guys, what are the blessings I still have now? What has God left in my life? I had an unfinished degree, and God made provision for me to be able to study for at least a few months. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to finish this degree. I don't know how I'm going to pay for the whole year, but I'm going. God said go. You know, sometimes God says, you need to go there. And you're just like, to do what, God? Don't ask, just go. So look at your blessings that you currently have, okay? If your only blessing, honestly, is that you live in your mama's house, and that is it, clean your mama's house, top to bottom. Make food. Be of help to your mom. If your mom is working somewhere, ask your mom, listen, mama, how can I help you with your job? If that is the only blessings that you can see over your life, ask yourself, how can I shepherd over these blessings until they are sparkling, until they are shining, until they are shimmering? Shepherd over the blessings that you have, even if it's just the small thing. Shepherd over it. You know, one of the blessings that we don't see is social media. And right now, I think to myself, I used to be on Instagram quite a lot, and that was actually one of the reasons why I got the job that I did, because I've been good at social. I started blogging when I was in high school, and I decided to shepherd over those things. I started blogging again, and I started doing my Instagram again. And if LinkedIn was as big as it is now, it was 2011, 2012. LinkedIn wasn't that big at the time. Or was it even there? I'm not even sure. If I had LinkedIn, I would literally be writing content daily. Because that is a blessing that you have. And that you can shepherd over that blessing. Guys, I've been to internet cafes for internet. You make sure you find a way to shepherd over all the blessings that God has given you. Because through doing that, God is saying, return to square one so that I can show you where the second step is. So return to square one and look at the blessings you have and then shepherd over those blessings well. Step number 3 is don't accept your life as it is now as the standard for your life. If you choose to sit, do nothing, not send out job applications, not to shepherd over the blessings that you have, not to do your best with the day that you've been given, but just to sit and to become a victim of your life, that is when you accept the standard that has been set for you. You accept brokenness as your standard. You accept being fired or being retrenched as your standard. You accept unhappiness as your standard. If you want to reset your standard, you need to strive for better. This is what I always tell people. Belief and faith are two different things. When you believe in something, it's like someone gives you a pair of car keys and a car. You believe that that car, if I switch it on, it will drive. Yes. But what faith is taking the car keys, switching the car on, and driving. Your faith is made complete by your actions. James 2:14-26 speaks about faith and action, that your faith is made complete by action. Many of us have faith that our situations will change, but we do nothing about it. Then is that truly faith if you're going to just believe that God will change the situation, but you sit and you just wait? No. The Bible tells us that our faith is made complete by our actions. And even the blessings that God gives people. I remember there was one where a lady who was struggling from bleeding touched his coat, and then God said that this woman took action and her faith is made complete by her actions. And in James 2:14-26, that is exactly what it speaks about, where it's just that a man who goes and does what God tells him to do, that is faith. When you believe that God will change your situation and you then act on that belief, that's when you have faith. So if you are doing nothing, then do you have faith? Go read James 2:14-26 and you come back and tell me that our faith is made complete by our action. Faith needs action to be complete. So act on it. How are you acting on it? You're sending out your job applications. You're making sure that you're completing your CV much better. You're learning. You're taking whatever you have and you're completing that degree. You are completing. You're finding free ways of learning new things. You are trying to work as much as you can, right? Faith without works is dead. Exactly. There's action. Every single day, you need to act on your faith. And that's how you change your financial situation. That you don't have enough money right now, but every single day I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do something to change my financial situation. And that's where you set your standard. Your standard is set by where your faith and your action is. Okay? If you are in a trash relationship and you're doing nothing to change that relationship, then your standard is trash. If you're broke and you're doing nothing to change your brokenness, that is where your standard is. Our standards are set by where we are placing our faith and our action. Okay? Then finally, number 4 is that you need to set a goal to get better. At this point in my life, I actually didn't know. I didn't have a financial goal. I just didn't want to be broke, to be honest with you. I just wanted to have money, to do simple things. I didn't even have a goal. I didn't say I wanted 100,000 Rand. Sometimes in life, you don't need to have a specific goal. You just need to have a goal to do better. That's it. As long as your goal is to do better, sometimes that's good enough. All right? Now, once you've done all of these things, the 5th and final thing is that you need to always be in consultation with God. Now you're asking yourself, Kopana, how does this change my financial situation if I'm broke? You see, if you are in constant consultation with God, if you decide not to worry, if you shepherd over your blessings, and you take every single day as it is now, God will show you the way, because you are completing your faith with actions. You are doing better with what you have been given every single day. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to know where your best place is. Sometimes it's fine. God knows. He knows and He sees everything. You just need to make a promise to yourself and a promise to God that, God, I will not worry because I know that you will provide for me today, tomorrow, and the day after that. God, I will shepherd over the blessings that you have already given me. And every single day, I will complete my faith with action. I will do something, anything, to make the situation better. Because God will show you the next step, and the next step after that, and the next step after that. And you'll wake up one day, and you look at your life, and you'll be like, only God could have gotten me here. Only God could have gotten me to a place where, I'm having 6-figure months. I didn't do that. God did that. Only God can get me to a place where everything is provided for. Where you look at it and you're just like, Lord, how? There's another testimony one day I believe I'm going to tell you. I'm just not ready yet. And I think that God is not done with me yet. And that's going to be a huge testimony. But I can tell you about this one, about being retrenched, and then God showing me the way to a point where I can be here today and tell you that it will be okay. If you just do these 5 things, have faith that God will provide for you every day. You might not know where tomorrow's food is going to come from, but He will provide for you today. Then number 2, you're going to shepherd over the blessings that you already have. That you're going to wake up every single day and you're going to complete your faith with action. Doing the best with whatever God has given you on that day. That you will not accept this as your standard in life. You will strive for better, doing your best with it, whatever God has given you. And that every single day when you have finished the day, that you will always do whatever you are doing in consultation with God. Because God's got such better plans for you. Oh, if I could tell you, sends shivers down my spine, darling. But that's how you change your financial situation. You give it to God and you do your best, honey. That's it. That is it. All right, good people. Let's see. Lerato saying, we shall overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by every word of our testimony. Revelation 12:11. Yes. I really needed this. Thank you. Only a pleasure to me. Janice, yes, your relationship with God will bless you in ways that you don't even know, even thought He could. Yes, God will bless you in ways that you can't even believe He will bless you. What do you do if the cycle keeps repeating itself? Then there's something that you're not seeing, Jessica. You have to always go back to God in prayer and ask Him, what am I not seeing, Lord? Please bless me with foresight. Please help me understand what it is that I know. One of my prayers that I have almost every single day is that, Lord, I hand this day over to you. Please help me to see you as you guide me. You know, the Bible says that the Lord will send His Holy Spirit to guide us. And I always say that, Lord, let me feel your hand when you push me towards something and when you pull me away from something. If you feel that the cycle is still repeating itself, then there's a lesson that you're supposed to learn. And you need to ask God, what is the lesson and what am I missing? Because there's a reason why you're still back where you are. Maybe you think that you're supposed to go left when God keeps bringing you back to the same place because He's like, go right. That's how it is. So true. I feel like God's saying, oh goodness, the chat is going by so quickly. I am so grateful for you guys chatting so quickly, but I lose my conversation. I lost it. Okay, I'm reading someone else. Thank you for the encouragement this morning. This is what I needed. God bless. God bless, Kitumeti. So true. I feel like God sent you to tell me today, faith without action is dead. Thanks, Kopano. Only a blessing. Utujue. I think I need to learn all your names before I even come up here. The best way to pray and ask God for help to break the cycle. Exactly. Co-ask. Sometimes you try your best, and as things start to go well, another tragedy hits. I think every single year we all need to go and repeat and just read Exodus. Because God took His people the long way. The long way. I feel like God has taken me the long way. But that doesn't mean He's not going to get you to the land of milk and honey. He is going to get you there. And there are lessons that you have to learn. And He may take you the long way, but honey, He has made you a promise and you will get there. That is what I believe. If He said that you are going to be a game changer, that you will start something new and that you will prosper, you will. But there are lessons and there are things that you have to see, and He's going to take you the long way. And if He takes you the long way, that's because He's working on you. So just go and read Exodus again and just see how frustrated God's people were. They were frustrated. And I get like that. I've been like that many times. But the land of milk and honey, it is still there. And God's promise still persists. And God does not break His promises. All right, let's wrap this up. We love you. God is speaking through you. I pray so. I pray I'm not saying my own things, and I pray that this is God speaking. That's what I'm human. 1 John 5:14, and this is the confidence that we have toward Him, that no matter what we ask according to His will, He hears us. Yes, He does. Asanda, thank you, honey. Thank you for this, Kopano, reminding us to keep faith and believing in our hearts. We should surrender to God. Definitely. I hope that you guys enjoyed that one. I really try to make these lives short, but then you guys, the conversation, I enjoy it, and then it gets long. I'm sorry. Go to work. Have a beautiful day today, beautiful people. If it's nighttime, go to sleep and have a good prayer before you go to sleep. Until later days, beautiful people, thank you so much for joining. Share this with a friend, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 7:30. Mwah! Ta-da!